Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
AFP and U.S. to conduct large-scale West Philippine Sea exercises. Philippine Navy monitors 48 Chinese vessels in West Philippine Sea. DZON assures DPWH will hire reputable contractors to repair Maharlika Highway. DBM releases more than 7 billion for 2025 SRI for teaching and non-teaching personnel.
A pleasant day to all our viewers, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Wednesday, February 4, and this is AFP Committee News, your trusted source for updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Susan Abay, here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the Armed Forces of the Philippines will conduct large-scale military activities with the United States in the West Philippine Sea from January 21 to March 31 inside areas within the country's exclusive economic zone. AFP for West Philippine Sea spokesperson Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad said the exercises are pre-scheduled, coordinated, and covered by a broad notice to airmen to allow multiple activities during the period. He also rejected China's accusation that the drills raise tensions and stressed that no international law supports Beijing's claim over the exercise areas, including Bajo de Masinloc. He clarified that the notice to airmen only warns passing aircraft of military activity and that authorities will declare separate exclusion zones if live fire drills occur.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Navy monitored 48 Chinese vessels, including warships, across key West Philippine Sea features in the past week. Rear Admiral Roy V. Trinidad, the spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, reported the increased Chinese ship presence in Bajo de Masinloc with 21 vessels and Ayungin Shoal with 12 vessels, along with deployments near Escoda Shoal and Pag-asa Island. He said the monitored ships include units from the People's Liberation Army and Navy and the China Coast Guard operating within areas claimed by the Philippines. Rear Admiral Trinidad noted that monitoring operations continue as maritime tensions persist despite the 2016 arbitral ruling that rejected China's sweeping claims.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
Some information from Shaira about BRP Waray delivers heavy equipment and emergency vehicles to Calayan Island. Go Shaira.
Yes, good afternoon. Barko ng Republika ng Pilipinas, BRP Waray, successfully delivered heavy equipment, ambulance units, and transport vehicles to Calayan Island, Cagayan to support development projects of the Cagayan local government. The Philippine Navy vessel crossed rough seas and conducted beaching operations to unload the mobility assets directly to the island community. The shipment will help speed up infrastructure work, improve public services, and strengthen emergency response capability in Calayan. Philippine Navy officials said the mission demonstrates their continuing commitment to reach remote communities and deliver essential government support. This is Shari Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaira.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Troops of the 94th Infantry Battalion stopped an attempted sabotage by remnants of the New People's Army targeting government infrastructure projects in Barangay Biao, Binalbagan, Negros Occidental. Soldiers acted on information from local residents and moved quickly to secure the area, preventing the burning of heavy equipment used for ongoing development works. Brigadier General Ted de Musmog, the commander of the 303rd Infantry Brigade, commended the troops and credited civilian vigilance for the successful prevention effort. He said strong cooperation between the military and communities remains essential to protect development initiatives and sustain peace in the province.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Naval Forces Central supported the medical mission of Mercy USA operations in Ibahay, Aklan by providing transport assistance, medical practitioners, manpower, security, and interagency coordination from February 2 to February 6. The unit deployed BRP Manobo to deliver medical equipment and supplies for the group's surgical, dental, and optometry missions in partnership with local government units and Ibahay District Hospital. Naval Force Central coordinated with local stakeholders to ensure secure and orderly civil-military activities and efficient delivery of free healthcare services to residents. Philippine Navy officials said the mission strengthened civil-military cooperation and reinforced their commitment to humanitarian service and community partnership in the Visayas.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
On the other line, let us hear more from Gina about Philippine Army host Mayuran Sundaramurthy to explore defense technology.
Yes, Raf, the Philippine Army welcomed TIL's Philippines Country Director Mayuran Sundaramurthy during a courtesy call at Headquarters Philippine Army in Fort Bonifacio, Taguig City. Brigadier General Jamel Samonte, commander of the Signal Regiment Philippine Army, represented Philippine Army Chief Lieutenant General Antonio Navarrete and received Mayuran Sundaramurthy during the meeting. Mayuran Sundaramurthy presented the TIL's Philippines company profile and discussed potential areas of cooperation on software and hardware capabilities, including support to air traffic management systems. The Philippine Army said the engagement supports its continuing effort to strengthen stakeholder partnerships and enhance national defense capabilities. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Buklod Kapayapaan, the Hands of Our Children movement and the Nabangi Fact-Finding and Solidarity Mission presented the results of their independent mission in Abra de Ilog Occidental, Mindoro during a press conference yesterday following the January 1 armed encounter. The groups reported that no fighting occurred inside residential areas, but said civilians experienced fear-driven displacement and trauma. They found no evidence that Mangyan children were killed or that mothers were harmed, and warned that misinformation endangers indigenous communities. Tribal and youth leaders later joined a rally at the House of Representatives calling for stronger civilian protection, truthful reporting, and respect for indigenous people's right to self-determination.
DWDD National
For our
News.
national news, the Department of Public Works and Highways will hire only the largest and most reputable contractors to repair and rehabilitate the Maharlika Highway to ensure quality and speedy construction. DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon said the agency will no longer hire small contractors and will instead hire well-known contractors for the renovation of the country's economic backbone. He added that contractors have expressed interest to help out in the major projects. Maharlika Highway, also known as the Pan-Philippine Highway, spans 3,379 kilometers from Mapari in Northern Luzon to Jolo in Mindanao.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
From NOLCOM, at a series of information from Juan, NOLCOM Chief visits PSCG to strengthen maritime security.
The commander of the Northern Luzon Command, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Lieutenant General Aristotle D. Gonzalez, Philippine Air Force, paid a courtesy visit to the Philippine Coast Guard or PCG on February 3, 2026. The visit highlighted the shared commitment of NOLCOM and the PCG to safeguarding the country's maritime domains through closer collaboration and synchronized operations. Discussions focused on strengthening maritime security, enhancing interagency coordination, and advancing capability development to address evolving resolving external threats. In his message, Lieutenant General Gonzalez commended the PCG for its professional and effective operations, particularly in the West Philippine Sea. He emphasized the PCG's vital role in national deterrence, noting that its lawful presence, operational credibility, and cross-domain coordination significantly reinforce the country's deterrence posture. The engagement reaffirmed the importance of unity, information sharing, and interoperability in ensuring maritime stability and national security, underscoring the value of sustained partnership between the AFP and PCG in maintaining peace, security, and readiness in northern Luzon maritime areas. This is John Salok reporting for AFP Community News 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from Nolcom.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. remains in good health and continues to attend multiple meetings despite impeachment proceedings moving forward in the House of Representatives. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the president is doing well and remains focused on his official duties. She added that the chief executive's health is good and was scheduled to attend 5 meetings yesterday. Malacanang earlier disclosed that Marcos was diagnosed with diverticulitis, a non-life-threatening inflammation of pouches in the colon, after he was brought to the hospital and spent a night under medical observation last January 21.
DWDD National
The
News.
Department of Budget has released an additional 7.37 billion for the 2025 Service Recognition Incentive or SRI of teachers and non-teaching personnel. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro announced that DBM Acting Secretary Rolando Toledo approved the notice of cash allocation to facilitate the release of funds for the one-time SRI of teaching and non-teaching personnel. She explained that with the approval of the additional cash allocation, the remaining balance can now be paid so that qualified beneficiaries may receive the full amount of their incentive. Castro also expressed the government's appreciation for the country's educators and school staff.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
From a report on the ground, let's hear the report of AMI about AFP Chief meets Chief of Royal Thai Armed Forces to boost defense cooperation.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. welcomed General Ukrita Bontanon, Chief of Defense Forces of the Royal Thai Armed Forces, during a courtesy call at General Headquarters in Camp Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Troops rendered arrival honors for the Chief of Royal Thai before the formal meeting with the AFP Chief. Both leaders discussed regional security concerns, defense cooperation, and expanded military-to-military engagement between their armed forces. AFP Chief reaffirmed the armed forces' commitment in strengthening partnerships with regional militaries through sustained dialogue and shared security goals. This is Amir reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Ambi.
DWDD National News.
The Bureau of Customs reported a surplus amounting to 513 million pesos on its receiving collection at the start of the year. Commissioner Ariel Nepomuceno said for January 2026, they have collected 80.744 billion and exceeded its target, reflecting a 100.6% revenue collection efficiency. He noted that the performance also marked a 1.490 billion increase or 1.9% growth compared to January 2025. Nepomuceno said that exceeding their January target is a strong affirmation of the hard work of the customs personnel and the growing cooperation of the trade community.
DWDD National News.
House Majority Leader Ferdinand Alexander Sandro Marcos filed a measure seeking to implement a no-work, no-pay policy for members of Congress. Marcos, son of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., made the proposal under his House Bill 7432. In his explanatory note on the measure, Congressman Marcos said, "The principle of no work, no pay is a general labor standard applied to workers across the country. However, he said that members of Congress who are entrusted with the responsibility of crafting laws and representing the people are currently compensated regardless of attendance or participation. He added that this has led to public concern over absenteeism, lack of accountability, and wastage of taxpayer funds.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
Let us hear more from Meljoy of 1st CRG about 5th ID troops sharpen war-fighting readiness as the Army shifts to territorial defense.
Yes, Rolf, the 502nd Infantry Liberator Brigade enhanced its operational readiness after participating in the 1st Combined Arms Division exercise. The 6-day exercise strengthened the preparedness of the 5th Infantry Division and its line units to defend the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity, reflecting the Philippine Army's ongoing transition from internal security operations to external security operations amid evolving security challenges. The exercise featured mission planning using the military decision-making process, a rehearsal of concept drill, a tactical exercise without troops, and the issuance of an operational order allowing commanders and staff to synchronize command, control, and maneuver in a realistic simulated environment. Officials clarified that CADEX was not directed against any specific country but underscored the Army's constitutional duty to protect the nation. For the Liberator Troopers in the 5th Infantry Division, the successful conduct of CADEX affirmed their professionalism, discipline, and readiness to serve and defend the Filipino people. This is Meljoy Nesho Oroco reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy of 1st CRG.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, the Philippine National Police said that 2 passengers ended up in hot water after making bomb-related jokes at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport on separate occasions last week. PNP then reiterated its reminder to the public not to crack bomb-related jokes, as such actions are against the law. PNP Chief Police General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. emphasized that every passenger must be aware that joking about bombs is not only dangerous, but also a criminal offense. He reminded them to think before throwing a joke, as it could save lives and prevent serious legal consequences.
DWDD National News.
2 Filipino police officers earned top honors in an international police exchange program in the Middle East. According to the Philippine National Police, Major Flores Inar Vic Flores of the Camarines Sur Police Provincial Office ranked first among 51 participants from 35 countries in the program hosted by the United Arab Emirates Ministry of Interior at the Abu Dhabi Police College. Another Philippine officer, Captain Joseph Pelobelio, placed 5th overall. PNP Chief General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. said these accomplishments on the global stage reflect the strength of their training institutions and the continuing reforms toward professionalism, leadership excellence, and global standards in policing.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
Let us hear more updates from Erica about BRP Dagupan City leads health and readiness drive. Go, Erica.
Yes, Rob, the BRP Dagupan City or LS551 conducted a series of health and readiness initiatives in coordination with Cavite Naval Hospital. The crew received troops information and education session on stroke, hypertension, and heart attack awareness to improve emergency response and medical readiness during maritime operations. The ship also hosted a super flu lecture and influenza vaccination drive that covered personnel from BRP Mangyan, BRP Fort San Antonio Abad, BRP Batak, BRP Subanon, BRP Apolinario Jacinto, BRP Apolinario Mabini, BRP Heracleo Alano, and BRP Manuel Gomez. Naval officials said the program strengthened force health, protection, and sustained mission readiness across the participating Philippine Navy vessels. This is Erica reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Erica.
DWDD National News.
Meanwhile, the Bureau of Customs and the Bureau of Immigration warned the public against online love scams using the name of the BI and BOC as a conduit to dupe victims under pretext that they have sent a package for them with the end purpose of extorting money. Customs Assistant Commissioner Philip Vincent Maronilla issued the warning to alert the public, saying that love scams are prevalent during this month in connection with the celebration of Valentine's Day. Immigration spokesperson Dana Sandoval also said that the BI uncovered the modus recently after a walk-in inquiry received by the agency from a woman who sought verification on an email allegedly sent by an immigration official regarding the delivery of a parcel from abroad. Sandoval clarified that the email was fraudulent and forms part of a love scam, stressing that the agency does not intercept parcels, facilitate deliveries, or collect fees for the release of packages.
DWDD National News.
The House Committee on Justice has postponed the voting on the sufficiency and substance of the two impeachment complaints filed against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. House Justice Panel Chairperson Gerville Luistro said the postponement of the voting from yesterday to today is necessary after exhaustive discussions of the first impeachment complaint filed by lawyer Andrew De Jesus and endorsed by Pusong Pinoy Party List Representative Jet Nisay. The sufficiency and substance of the second complaint endorsed by Macmime lawmakers were not discussed during Tuesday's deliberations. The House Justice Panel members agreed with Luistro's manifestation.
Armed Forces Radio.
From Ferdy, updates about Negros Occidental governor calls for peace after two rebels die in Binalbagan clashes.
Good day, everyone. Rough Occidental Governor Eugenio Jose Lacson renewed his call for peace after two suspected New People's Army rebels were killed in separate encounters with government troops in Barangay Biao, Binalbagan. Soldiers from the 94th Infantry Battalion engaged armed rebels in situ Apitong, killing unidentified finance and logistic officers, and later figured in a second clash that left rebel dead and no government casualties reported. Governor Lacson urged remaining rebels to surrender and work with authorities toward a sustainable solution to the insurgency while security operations continue. Local officials suspended classes in 6 schools and all barangays daycare centers to protect students and teachers as investigations proceed. This is Further News reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Ferdy.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s legal team has not yet begun preparations for the impeachment complaints filed against him. Presidential Communications Office Under Secretary Claire Castro said they have to see how the process unfolds. She explained that once the process is in place, the president will respond. The palace official also emphasized that President Marcos said he will respect the impeachment process, which will formally begin once the House Committee on Justice determines whether the complaints are sufficient in substance.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for your continued support, particularly to our viewers at AFP Radio DWDD's official Facebook page. Join us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, it's Rob Susan Abay for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga